Hi, welcome to the tutorial video for installing your new quick release seat riser. This product is meant to replace the rail seat adapters for your pilot seats. And I find these are fairly finicky to install and take off each time. You have to make sure these are the right level of unscrewed, and then stick them onto your rail each time, and they hit the screws as you're putting them on, and then you're never at the exact same spot as you went last time. So I wanted to make a product that will remain at the same spot each time you take your seat off and on, and also make it easy to take off and on, and also raise up your seat by a little bit. So this is how much more more distance from the base your seat is going to have. So when you get your package, this is basically what you're going to be seeing. You're going to be getting 2 bases along with some hardware, some screws. There should be about 9 of them, and these adapters that go onto your seat. Now you can take these out just by unlocking this and flipping it over, but let's say it's not coming out for some reason, then you can just take a pencil and stick it in there and push it out. So you're going to want to take these off of your seat first, and the only tool that you'll need for installation is a screwdriver for the screws. Now you can replace these screws with whatever you want, but the screws that come with the package are this size. Start screwing in the screws onto the top of these adapters. So I call this the top, and I call this the bottom. The bottom is much bigger, it's got this little divot. Top is small, like that. So see, these tops have slots for the screws. So you're going to want to screw in all 4 of these until the tips show just a bit. Now they should be able to sit flat on top of these, even with the screw in. And then afterwards, you're going to be screwing them onto your seat. So this is what it looks like with all 4 of the screws screwed in. And you can see that it sits flush with the bottom still. Now we're going to install it onto the seat. Now, to install onto your seat, you're going to be taking the top like that, putting it on the bottom like that. And you can see I've already got it right here. So now that you have that, you're going to want to tighten the screws just a bit, just enough so that it doesn't fall off, but no more than that. And when you tighten the screws, always do the opposite ends in this order. You don't want to go on one side and then the other side, because you'll likely have like a gap. Usually the gap, as you tighten it properly, it'll come together, but you want to make sure you don't do that. So you can see this is nice and flexible. I can slide it side to side, I can turn it so that once we actually put it onto the base, we can adjust it to whatever position it needs to be, and then that's when we're going to be tightening it down. So I'll show you right here. You can see that it slides right onto the base easily, and you lock it, it doesn't come off. Now to install these bases onto this, you're going to want to unscrew this a little bit so that it fits onto the rails. You guys know how this is. And then make sure you pick which side you want this handle on. Probably don't want it like this, because the seat's going to be like that and it's going to be hard to reach this. So probably going to want this, and these handles are on the opposite sides. So you're going to want that there, like that. So I'm going to slide these on like you normally do with any of these rails. Now that it's slided on, kind of generally pick where you want it to be. And let's tighten it down just a bit, just so it doesn't go everywhere. Okay, I got both sides on now. Still a little loose. And I'm gonna put the seat on top and start adjusting everything the way I like it. So, you can see this one's not quite at the right spot. It is, but let's say you install it like that. See, it's not quite at the right spot, so let's just move it to the side. Slides in nice and good. And then you just want to make sure the seat isn't all the way to one side. You want to move it over a little if it is. Okay. And then you're going to want to try and lock it. Make sure, everything works good. Make sure you tighten these down a little more. So you can see it doesn't want to move. And now that you're in that position, you're going to want to tighten these screws. Now when you tighten these screws down, only finger tighten them. Don't tighten them too much. You don't want to strip out the plastic because the base of it is not extremely strong. And like I said, always tighten the opposite sides each time. And to be the most accurate, tighten each screw just a little bit and then go back and tighten them a little more so that everything's being tightened evenly. Okay, now that you've tightened everything down, you shouldn't be able to move this with your hand. Unless you really try, maybe it'll budge a little. But once you put it in, you should be able to lift up the seat. I mean, it'll still do that. So yeah, that's how tight you want it. You don't want to tighten it, crank it down, because you'll probably strip out the plastic. So you can see now that it's in, the seam right here, where the two pieces come together, should be flush with the top of this base, and you should be able to just lock this in, and that's not going anywhere. Now once the seat is installed, you can see that the angle of the seat is quite laid back now, so I highly recommend that you add a 2x4 or whatever to the back of your seat. Goes right there and evens out the angle a little bit, so you're not leaning back as far as you can. Now, a little extra, you can spruce up your 2x4 by, what I did was add a couple little pieces so that the seat won't slide off, and I also added a pool noodle. This isn't secured yet, but once you do that, it's nice and cushioned and also raised up a little bit. Now you got all this extra space for more storage if you want, and you get a little more leverage on the pedals. I also highly recommend that you carry around the screwdriver for these screws for the next few outings, just in case you have some kind of issue with your seat. And that should be it. All that's left to do is just loosen these up a little, adjust the where on the rails you want it, tighten them down, and you should never have to touch these again unless if you want to move the seat a little. And there you go. Thanks for watching, and if you're interested in buying the product, then there's going to be information that is attached either in the descriptions or in the comments, depending on where you watch it.